Good morning. This is the second day of Cypher 2024. We have Richa Saini, Global Transformation Leader at Genpact. Richa, welcome.
Hi, delighted to be here.
Richa, you spoke about LLMs and why it's incomplete without a card on top. Talk to us about that.
This is something I read and it stayed with me. LLM is powerful car engine, but it's of no use unless there is a car built around it. Any tool or application. Technology at the core and the heart is super essential to make it work. But if it doesn't have the right features, the right functionalities, what the user really desires for it to work, then it's of no use. We all go buy new iPhones, Apple gadgets, right? The tech finesse inside is important. But when you walk into a store, you look for the features that interest you. You trust Apple that they have built in the right tech finesse inside. So I don't think they open the phone and show it to you. That's what we have inside.
Yeah.
They tell you about the features that interest you as the user.
Right. So it said that all good technology are the ones which become invisible at zero, right? That the user doesn't know that they are working on. Is that also applies on AI? And that's what exactly you're pointing out, that let's build application layer on top of LLMs. And AI can become an invisible layer that people just won't even know. And at the end of it, they have a phone or an application that they work on top of.
To the user, it doesn't matter whether it has AI or anything else behind the scenes. What user desires for is something that works and works beautifully, is whole easy to use, gives information in time, and processes things with speed. I'm not saying that the user is not impressed with the tech finesse. As a tech savvy user, we all get impressed with tech finesse, but that alone cannot win the game. We have to think more and more from the user standpoint, then power it with an amazing tech finesse, which takes the product to the next level. There is no tech finesse which is amazing to a user without the right product built around it, because ultimately the user will use the product.
Let's talk about Genpact a little bit. So it's a powerhouse. It has a great legacy of doing that. It's also has a great legacy of one of the earlier companies which built on data analytics and data science. What do you think this whole AI which is coming up, how does the companies change?
This is, by the way, not the first change we are going through. I've been in the organization 22 years, so I can say this with a whole lot of pride that we have always kept pace. In fact, we have led the change on evolution, right? There was a time when it was all about process, Six Sigma. There was a shift that happened with data. There is a shift that has happened with citizen development, making it more pervasive, bringing innovation close to the process practitioners, etc. It's AI. In future, it could be something else. It's in our DNA to respond to change with agility, get onto the bandwagon super quick. One thing I think which works beautifully for us as an organization is the investment that our leadership makes. Even now with AI, the top leadership of the organization is investing in making time to learn from the best universities. How many companies do you see do that, right? It's in many cases, it's all about, let's run a training program for people. But here, our top leaders are making time to learn from MITs and Berkeley's about AI. I think that culture shift, that agility to change, adaptability is very high in the organization.
Sure.
It's very high for AI because our belief is that we are standing at a time at the cusp where our lives are going to change considerably.
Sure.
It is almost like a fire moment. Fire happened and everything changed.
Almost like an internet moment.
Yes, it's almost like that. We have all seen that, right? Internet, computers. I come from a time when there were pens and papers and books. Computers came very late. Then came internet. And now it's AI. It's the right time.
Right. Great. And if you can share, what are some of the nitty-gritties now? Share some use cases customers ask for. Right?
There's a shift, right? There was a time when people were like, if AI can do it, now that's changing to how can we do this with AI? And then how soon can we do this with AI? And the other, I would say, spectrum of this is, what if we don't embrace AI? What will happen? Will we be left behind? Most customers are deeply interested in analytics and insights. Everybody loves a crystal ball. Those things interest them. People are also looking for Gen AI plus plus.
What do you mean by that?
It's almost hyper automation, other advanced technologies along with Gen AI. How can that become a full automation suite for the value chain? Instead of solving steps in the process with point solutions,
Okay.
how can it become like one thing as a whole?